Today I want to bring to you some of the redneck engineering. A buddy of mine, he got hit some time ago and car's been sitting for a while, and then he asked me to stop by and give him a hand. Got a 2010 Rolls-Royce Ghost. So he kind of got this thing taken apart partially. So this door got blasted and all of this was actually bent outward. He already tried pulling it all out. So this looks really bad. It looks really ugly. However, used door for one of these runs about $5,000 to $6,000, and my buddy said, hey, you know what? Let's try and just attempt to fix it. So we're just gonna go ahead and wing it and see how well this works out. And also, I guess he got spun out and then took out the quarter panel. So that may come later. But right now, we are gonna concentrate on this door, and I don't know, I guess we'll just have to wait and see how well it turns out. The plan is to cut out this area of the skin so we can get access to the inside of the door, because the inner structure got bent and right now everything just kind of looks whack and nothing fits really. So we got to bend all of that out. So haters gonna hate, but it don't really matter. We ain't got nothing to lose. So worst thing that's gonna happen is we'll just scrap this door. But other than that, I don't know, my buddy said he just wants to give it a shot. So why the hell not? So we figured, since this part of the skin was really mangled, we'd cut it out, then we would bring out this inner structure of the door back out to where it's supposed to be. And then, get this, we are going to use part of the skin from this Chevy Tahoe or a Suburban, same thing, don't matter. So we'll cut out a piece of skin and hopefully that'll work. This is gonna be one epic rebuild. So the plan is, just like on my Acura, we're going to use this chain come along to make our pull, and we're gonna hook onto this truck over here. So the inner structure of the door, the metal is really strong, and in this area, that's where the door hinge makes contact. If you look at it, it's all concave, and we have to straighten this area out, make it nice and flat, so the door hinge can just lie nice and flat on it. But right now, we got two pieces of metal and both of them are bowed, so we're trying to get the inner piece out so we can flatten it out, and at the same time we can flatten out the area of the door shell, because right now with the double metal there's just no way we'll be able to get it all done if the inner piece is still attached to the door. Yeah, got a nice bow to it right in here. So we'll hammer it out. So after beating on this door for a while, we were able to get most of this back into shape. And so earlier this entire door was way out of alignment. The door wouldn't shut, so we had to bring out this leading edge out, and then the area where this bracket goes, because this bracket actually comes off and then the bolts screw right into it. The area below the bracket supposed to be nice and flat, just pretty much this way it would be flush with the bracket, but it was just a big old hill, and everything was distorted, and so the door hinge could not make a contact with the door in the right way, and so this door was just very misaligned. There was no way to close it, but after messing with it for a while, check this out. Perfect gap all the way down. It's nice and flush all the way up, and this door opens and closes just like factory. So the next step would be to cut out a chunk out of our donor GM door and get it lined up to the contour of our fender. And also this leading edge of the door needs to be straightened out because it's still pretty deformed. So I think for that we'll pull the door off, so this way I can work this edge with hammer and dolly. But all in all, I'm surprised to see how well this door is coming out. So the original door skin is really mangled and it's all stretched out. I don't think we're going to end up reusing it. So this is the part of that GM door, and let's see if I line it up to this door. So since our damage starts right about here, well, obviously you can tell that there's a big old gap right here because the contour of GM door got a lot more of a radius to it, a lot more of a curve. So let's fix that real quick. Oh, look at that, getting close, just a little more. Man, that looks really, really good. And even the outline, if you look, it is so very close. We got maybe a millimeter of a gap. This top is gonna get trimmed off, and once it goes, or maybe the bottom will get trimmed off, and I think once that's done, we're not going to have any gap here at all. So this way, when this door skin's installed on the Rolls-Royce door, we'll have a perfect gap from top to bottom. This is my friend's house, and he doesn't have a whole lot of equipment here. We need to lay this door down flat, and it has to be about 4 feet off the ground to make it easier for me to work on. So we will improvise and use the things that he has at his disposal, like in this case, some wheels and tires. The damage of the door is such that I cannot use a door skin off of another door to replicate the body lines of the lower part of the door. So I'm gonna have to do all of the metal work with hammer and dolly to make everything as perfect as I possibly can. Wrestling with this door for a couple of hours. This is where we're at. It's still a little rough down here, but I will touch it up later on with spotter. We got this GM door piece spliced in, and it fits perfect, and our gap between the fender and the door is even all the way down. We got the new piece cut in perfectly, and I use these butt welding clamp set to get it all in. So right now it's perfectly level everywhere with the door, and it looks perfect right here on this side where it meets the fender. I gotta tell you, these butt welding clamps are a godsend. They just make lining up the new panel so much easier. Panel gets locked in place, the gap between two panels stays nice and perfect, and tacking the new panel in is just a breeze. So what those clamps did, they pretty much matched up the height of both panels, and then I went ahead and just got few tacks going all the way around. You don't ever weld in one continuous bead, because you're gonna heat this panel up so much that it's gonna get warped, and you're just gonna create so much more work for yourself. Therefore, you want to kind of jump around the panel as you weld. This is next day. I went ahead and ground down all the high spots on all of the welds, and yeah, this is kind of what it looks like. Obviously, there's still more work that needs to be done, but it is really taking shape, and it's looking like a door now without having a big old hole in it. So all of this needs more work with a spotter. This needs more work. And we got this line right up here. That's actually a low spot. So that's the next step, getting all of this looking good before the filler work begins. So in the next video, we will wrap up all of the metal work that has to do with the door, and we will start on the quarter panel. Things are moving along quite nicely, and we're making some really good progress. I gotta tell you, this is turning out to be a really fun, cool project. This is an expensive vehicle, and my plan is to make this repair just about perfect, and I know for a fact that I will succeed. So if you guys are curious to see how this repair turns out, make sure to stick around, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, turn on that bell notification, and don't forget to tap that like button, because that does help this channel grow. And as usual, I'll be seeing you in the next video here real soon.